Has anyone noticed lately that you've been like a little bit more distracted than normal? Little bit? Like maybe with the phone, or like you can't remember what you're doing and like there's just too many open tabs in your mind and so many things going on. This is an algorithmic thing that I have been noticing, specifically just because of everything that's been going on in the world lately. The algorithm has ramped up big time in a way that it's designed to distract you. And this distraction is deeply detrimental to your mental health, to your well being, and most importantly, to you connecting with your spiritual nature. So, when someone is connected with their spiritual nature and they really have a deep stability in recognizing it and being with it and settling with it, there's not going to be the same amount of kind of like grabbiness, itchiness, always looking for the next dopamine hit and everything that's going on. The algorithmic distraction is so much more sophisticated than we are really even designed to combat. And so what we're going to do also in this practice and this class is train ourselves to sit quietly for 10 minutes, 55 minutes, this amount of time. So it's I want you to feel really good about this, because what you're doing is you're basically saying, okay, I've lost control of this sophisticated computer, which is my own mind-body system. And I'm going to start reclaiming that and getting that energy back now by controlling my attention. Your attention. Hi, welcome. Oh my gosh, you look so beautiful.
I'm so tired.
Joey just walked in and she's glowing.
This for you.
Oh, thank you. You can keep that. I feel like, yeah, we're gonna do that at some point.
Okay. Well, I was like, okay.
She goes, okay. So we're talking about distraction right now, and I just got completely distracted by Joey's beautiful outfit and pants. They're so beautiful. They're perfect. I bought this for India. I know. So this attention situation, this goes beyond just like normal kind of ADHD diagnoses. This is pervasive. It's across the board. Yogi Bhajan calls it infodementia syndrome. He says that in this time, we're all going to have infodementia. Do you feel like you can self-diagnose yourself with infodementia? Joey goes, yeah. You know what infodementia feels like. It's that kind of like garbled feeling after you've like scrolled for a little too long. And like, there was like a meme going around. I think Andrea sent it to me at some point. It says something along the lines of like, just one more and I will have the answers to the universe. It's like, you know, you're just looking for the next thing. It's like, it's right there on the next swipe. I'm going to find it. And we never do. It's not the next swipe. It's usually something really stupid. And the state of the algorithm right now, because of things that go on in the world, you have to pay attention to this. It has shifted just in the last week. There's a lot of censorship. There's a lot of change of what content gets showed, because whatever you're consuming is what is moving your psyche. And if someone, anything can control your attention, then that is what's going to control where your mind is moving on any given day and moment. And so as meditators, I want to invite you to reestablish this deep practice of you wake up and you grab a hold of this ship, this powerful mind-body ship that you have, and claim it as yours. This is mine. And then, you know, if you want to go into the other realms and stuff throughout the day, then you do that. But you have the fulcrum set. You're not just wandering off into all these kind of rabbit holes of where you should be outraged today because someone says you should be, when, you know, that's just not the reality if you're looking at the life that's right in front of you. So when we do these longer meditations and when we get to the Jupiter Business Kriya and you get a little itchy after 8 minutes of it, because, you know, because it's the long meditation, and then it's like, oh my God, we're after 20 minutes of it, and oh my God, how long is this going to go? Be with that itchiness. That is a really, really important practice that we've lost touch with. We don't have, we just don't have it anymore. Amy and I were talking, she's on the live stream. Amy and I were talking a couple of days ago about how it's like we just don't even read books anymore, because it's like we just like, the mind is like, wait, but my phone, but you know, and then the other thing, and I told her, actually, recently, this is my own revealing, I tried to start watching like TV shows again, like just normal TV shows. Hi Lewis, welcome back to the palace. Thanks for being here. I started trying to watch TV shows again just to practice doing one thing for 20 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever it is. Like watching a movie is now no longer just watching a movie. There was just recently the Sedona Film Festival here, and Ms. Stephanie Larson hooked me up with some tickets to one of the shows, and it was like an hour and a half long, and because you're in this like really dark movie theater, it's super rude to like open up your phone. So I'm just becoming aware of like, wow, I'm not going to open my phone again, and I'm not going to open it again. And like, you know, 10 minutes goes by and I'm still like, oh, I just kind of want to, nope, not going to open it because I'm in this dark theater. And if I do that, you know, it's going to light up the whole room. And I sat with that for that 90 minutes of the movie. And it's like, oh my God, that was an entire meditation in itself. Just being aware of like how many times I really wanted to just look at my phone really quick, just really quick. I didn't want to do anything specific on it. I just want to check it. Just want to look at it. Just don't you feel better? Don't you feel like now you guys want to look at your phones too, right? Because I'm talking about it. You have to be aware of these things. We are in this is an entirely new territory of, mental stimulus that we're not actually designed for. We didn't grow up, all of us on this class in the Zoom and in person, we didn't grow up in a time where we were splintered in this many directions and in this aggressive a way. So the dopamine is so attuned. Do you guys know about the phenomena of the bliss point? Have you heard of this? So in food science, they actually master finding the bliss point of a product. So let's say, what's your favorite food right now that you can't stop eating? Like I have a granola I'm like obsessed with. It's like $8 a bag. Wow. What's your thing? What's like your chip or snack? Come on, guys.
I'm kind of into raw cheese right now.
Raw cheese. Okay, great. That raw cheese has its own, cheese actually has an addictive quality to it, so they don't even need to find the bliss point of it. What is it?
Parmesan.
Oh yeah, I love Parmesan cheese. So Parmesan cheese is actually, they do say that it is, there are withdrawal symptoms if you come off of Parmesan cheese.
Wow.
Yeah, so Parmesan cheese actually has a certain drug quality to it. So they don't have to master that. It already has this kind of like natural addictive quality. I'm talking more about like certain types of crackers or like chips or, you know, some kind of manufactured thing. The food scientists get together and they find the bliss point of that food. And what the bliss point means is your brain doesn't register it as overpowering, but yet you want more. So if a food has too much taste and flavor, then you stop eating it. You actually are like, okay, your body goes, that's enough. I got enough of that. If the bliss point is mastered, the body never gets that signal. So it just keeps eating it. And we've all been there. It's like, why am I eating 10 of these cookies? Like, I'm not hungry anymore. So this bliss point in food science, it can be completely extrapolated out into the realms of your attention now. The algorithm is designed that it's giving you just enough dopamine that you want to just scroll one more time, and it's not really enough to satisfy you, because if you were satisfied, you would turn it off. So if it's giving you what you really wanted, you would move on with your life. But it's not giving you what you want. It's giving you almost what you want. And it's giving you just enough to hook you. So this is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable situation for anyone to have to overcome. And people are losing their lifetime to it. Now, there's two levels of distraction that are going on here. The first is that you're becoming distracted from your mission. So we all have something we're here to do. We all have something that's kind of a calling in our soul. We have this kind of like, maybe we don't even know what the words are or the exactness of it is, but there's a flavor to it. There's a momentum to something that's like pulling you, like, this is what I'm here to do. And I really want to do it. If you are distracted, you're not going to get it done. And that's a nefarious type of energy, actually, that we're wrestling with, that everyone wrestles with. And the people who actually get things done, they have decided that this mission or this thing matters more than the distractions. And distractions come in a lot of forms. You guys know the movie The Matrix? Mr. Smith, Agent Smith. What happens when you're in the Matrix and you start acting out? You know, you start being an awakened being in the Matrix. The guy pouring your coffee becomes Mr. Smith. The bus driver becomes Mr. Smith. The neighbor next door becomes Mr. Smith. So this kind of idea that the distractions are always going to come in some fashion, and that's the kind of polarity. It's like I'm trying to do something beautiful and good, and I'm going to encounter these sort of obstacles, and they're going to come from sources you can't even imagine. It's like, this is a good person, but yet they're acting like an Agent Smith. They're undermining me. That's also just an expression of your own mind. So it's really a matter of just how you're engaging with that thing, with that person, that being, that situation. You can be very easy about it. My mom's like, did you record this? Yes, I'm recording it. Don't worry, the agents will be on top of me after this. I said it so that it would auto record. I was like, I have a lot to say, because I haven't been podcasting. I haven't been teaching like regularly, and I do have a lot of opinions about what's going on in the world as it relates to us as Dharma practitioners. You know, this is just me talking. This is not some sort of like deep sacred teaching. I'm just giving you my 10 cents on what I feel is happening and how we can handle it as Dharma practitioners. I think it's really important that we have these types of conversations. Really, really important. Because one being who is on mission, one being who's on there, Yogi Bhajan calls it your beam. Your beam is your direction. It's your flow. You're going this way. If you get off that beam even by, 5% of a degree or something, you're now going way over there. So it starts out that you're not that far off. And then by the end of the day or the month or the year, you're like, you have completely missed the thing that you were like, I'm going this way. And then it's like, wow, how did we get over there? The earlier you catch it is kind of the trick here too. So it's not that we're going to be perfectly like, we're not going to be robotic about it. We're not going to be like neurotic, robotic, whatever. I did just had to show that I was like not a robot on my computer. And we're in a weird time that I have to prove that I am not a robot. And yet like my brother was like working on an app that like literally builds itself. It's like the AI app makes its own app itself. Like if you think you know what's about to happen, you have no fucking clue. Like we are in such uncharted territory. It's bananas. And Guru Jagat, I have to go back to her teaching, her wish and prayer for all of us was that we don't become robots. And people were like, what is she talking about? What does that mean? It means don't become a robot yourself. Be aware of your mind, be aware of where you are, know what direction you're supposed to be going in, and don't be controlled by your algorithm. Whatever algorithmic bucket you've been put in, it's actually changing your behavior. And on a mass scale, it's changing your behavior, changing your behavior, changing your behavior, and all of you on the line. And then it's putting us in different places because of its algorithm. Well, then does that make us much different than like a little computer program? Not much. So the people who are able to take that in and say, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I have this other thing that's my mission, and I'm going to stay on my mission, stay on my beam. So that beam of your mission, your life, your calling, luckily, I think it has its own intelligence, and I want to be optimistic and say that will prevail, because you're here, you prioritize, you're like, no, I really need this afternoon. I really need to meditate, and I really need some time to get, elevate out of it. Because here's what happens when our neurons start firing in a different way, and our subtle body starts moving in a different way, and our own very deeply sophisticated system comes online and away from these Kundalini practices. No computer can ever touch that. Ever. You basically elevate out of the thing. So I said just a little bit earlier, there's two kind of main distractions, things that we're being distracted from. So one is that beam, that mission of our life, that thing that we're here to do, that thing we're here to create, or whatever it is in any given moment. I have two friends, I want to shout this out. I have two friends who just published books. I mean, what an accomplishment right now. And I think if you have something that you want to publish it now. Publish it before this AI thing takes over. Publish it while you're still a human, while you still have some humanness to it, So anyway, that's the first thing that we're getting distracted from. The second thing, and the most primordial and important and divine thing that we're getting distracted from, it's our own nature. It's our beingness. When you are in a busyness, you're not in your beingness. That beingness and that awareness and that comfort and familiarity with your own self. And I don't mean that like an ego thing. I mean it like your awareness, which is beyond the self. It's beyond the beam. It's beyond whatever's going on. This is why we like Kundalini yoga, because we do a lot of stuff and then we feel so good and we're like, oh, you get that moment of relief. That's the beyondness, that moment of like, oh, I just feel so much better. Can't quite grab it, can't quite put a name on it, put your finger on it. You feel so good when you're there because that's who you really are. That is your true nature. And that nature has so much, it has infinite resources. It has infinite awareness. It has infinite love. It has infinite compassion. And if you can touch that every single day, you become a human being, not a machine. So when these AI things are like, or the computer's like, hey, can you prove to us that you're not a robot? It's like, yeah, sure. Maybe we need a more sophisticated way of doing that than like selecting which square is a truck. That's what it made me just do. It's like, do I know that this is a truck? It's like, do you know that you're alive right now? Maybe we start with that question. Do you know that you're breathing? Are you aware that you're breathing? Part of the reason that the breath meditations work so well and why there's actually all these studies on it. It's pretty profound that if you just watch your breath and you're aware of your breath and you're just being with your breath, that's all you're doing. Just do that as your meditation, aware of your breath. Maybe you count them. Maybe you feel the sensation at your nose. That's like one of the Zen meditations. Maybe you're watching it go in all the way to the lungs or through the rest of the body and then back out. However you watch it, doesn't really matter. that actually on a baseline level makes you happier over time than winning the lottery, getting married, having a child. That's a big deal. Because all the things we're like, oh, this is going to make me really happy. Yeah, it makes you happy for 5 seconds. You got a really good dopamine hit. You meet someone, you're like, this is the love of my life. You're like through the roof. And then, maybe you have like a huge deposit in your bank account. You're like, that's awesome. Feels so good. And then the baseline doesn't change though. So whatever your kind of baseline is, and everyone has their own baseline they're working with. So some people do kind of tend towards a little bit more of like a depressive, lower frequency. And then some people have a more like natural buoyancy that they're kind of with mentally, that they're working with. You can actually move that needle just through watching your breath. Why is that?
Like you become more aware to your life force, to your existence.
It's even simpler than becoming aware to your life force. It's the first part of what you said.
You're just aware.
You're just aware.
Yeah.
If you are aware, you're present, aware, any of that. If you are practicing being that way, that is connecting you with your true nature. And so you feel better. And over time, that actually becomes something that moves the baseline frequency that you're working with. That's profound. Now, what happens when you're dealing with someone who's more aware? Describe someone who's like that, who has that. Are they robotic? No.
No.
Are they predictable? No.
No.
Are they nice to be around?
Yes.
Yeah. Super nice to be around. And in your own moments of that kind of flow of awareness, you enjoy being around yourself more, no? Some of the signs that you're kind of in that awareness, I'm going to use all the new age lingo now. Are you guys ready for it? I'm in alignment. I'm in flow. I'm in trust. That alignment. So there's a phrase that's been going around for so many years now in the spiritual scene, the new age scene, and it's actually a really good phrase. It's aligned action. Have you heard of that phrase before?
Or flow state.
Flow state, aligned action. Yeah, like athletes, they're in a flow state. Why are they in a flow state? They have heightened awareness.
Yeah, they're really present.
They have heightened awareness, and they've gotten to it maybe through their body or through the focus, but there's that beam there, but behind that beam is the awareness. And then they're in this flow state. So the aligned action is now you're taking this beingness and you can work with whatever that mission is, that bigger thing that you're here to do, that flow, that beam. But you don't really know what that beam is unless you are being. You can force things and you feel it in yourself sometimes. Sometimes you have to do a little fake it till you make it. There's nothing wrong with that. So like even meditation, this is going to sound crazy, but here we go. Someone who's doing this, are they actually meditating? Maybe. Depends. Are they aware? Just because someone's sitting like this, they might have some awareness going on and be aware that they're aware. They might be being with that awareness. Or they could just be faking it by, okay, I'm going to tightly hold this meditation posture. There's nothing wrong with that. You actually have to go through that phase in order to then see the awareness, be with the awareness, practice being with it. A lot of times though, what happens in like normal meditation classes or whatever, it's, okay, we're going to sit for an hour. and it's sitting for an hour and wrestling with the thoughts and following the thoughts and going with the thoughts and, running down the street with them. That's really not actually meditation. That's just sitting still and thinking. See the difference? Meditating is the thoughts are there, but you're not getting involved with them. So it's the same exact thing as if you have a kid in front of you or anyone misbehaving in front of you. It can be, I really actually just love what I learned when I was living in New York City, because there's so many crazy people, completely batshit crazy people in New York City, just running around the streets, blah, 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 like they'll get right in your face, they'll follow you down the road, whatever. And the best way to deal with them is you just ignore it. You don't even look at them, you just keep moving, and you're just not getting involved at all. And then what happens is they disappear because you're not an easy target. Your thoughts are exactly the same way. Your thoughts are the crazy people in New York City going, blah, blah, blah. You need to be worried about this. Why aren't you doing that? What are you making for dinner? There's other things you should be doing right now. Blah, 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 blah. And you're going, oh my God, you're right. Why aren't I doing that? Let me call this person. Oh shit, I didn't call this. And instead, you need to just keep walking and be like, not even, just, and then they go away. They actually show themselves out. But you have to do that long enough. So as the meditation practice happens today, I want you to be with that sense of like, oh, there they are. And you can think about me like that. I wish I could be like a crazier New York being. I guess I could probably do it. Even just how I'm looking right now. I know it's like, oh, this is cute, but I could probably oh my gosh, wouldn't it be fun? I've been doing some pole dancing here and there as a anomalous action. Do you guys know anomalous action? Anomalous action is really important. Anomalous action is you're doing something you don't normally do deliberately to change the pattern of your life. So we get stuck in our routine, especially if you have a lot of Taurus going on. I have a Mercury Taurus. I love doing the same thing. I love just So anomalous action, it's doing something differently. Moving your body in a way you don't normally do, going to a place you never go, taking a route you don't normally take. It creates neuroplasticity, and more importantly, you have to be more aware. Because when you're going the same route every single day, and you see the same people every single day, and you do the same thing every single day, you go asleep, just naturally. It's like a hypnotic thing that you're doing to yourself. So that's why it's good to do different things. So also, another side note to this is that's why we like new relationships. New relationships are fun because it's different. There's something different about it. And that thing that makes it different and what makes it fun about it is because you're more aware. So in the beginning of a relationship, you're like this. You're paying attention. And then once you have the routine established and the familiarity established, the attention and awareness exit stage right and left. And then the relationship slowly kind of dissolves because no one's paying attention anymore. There's no awareness anymore. So everything in your life is like that. So anyway, back to the anomalous action of pole dancing. Super fun, by the way. I was thinking it could be fun to do that on a New York subway because they have those poles, Wouldn't that be cool? So when you think of your crazy thoughts, think of Sita pole dancing on a New York subway. That's what your thoughts are. They're insane. They're totally, utterly insane. And actually what's cool is the more insane your thoughts are, the more insane you think you're going, actually the better opportunity for you to become aware and wake up and kind of snap out of it. Because you ever get to that point where you're like, okay, enough already. You've driven yourself crazy to the point of enough. I give up. I surrender to my own neurosis. In that moment, you're now taking the wheel. You've become aware just by acknowledging I've lost control of this situation. I've driven myself completely crazy to the point of some sort of emotional breakdown or meltdown or whatever. So it's not a bad thing. Anger, sadness, grief, any kind of negative emotion that you feel, even like attachment, aversion, desire, any kind of strong emotion, but often we can recognize it in the negative ones like anger and aversion and things like that. It's not about never feeling those things. It's about getting out of it quickly. So even the great yogis will have moments of anger. They'll have moments of aversion. They'll have moments where things kind of go sideways. In those moments of anger, they actually say in the Buddhist teachings, the hell realm beings, their primary afflictive emotion is anger. And so in the moments that you are feeling angry, you're actually in a hell realm, which is crazy because look at where we are. Everything's so beautiful. And you're like, everyone, I know all of you and all of your lives are beautiful. You're not actually in a hell realm. But if mentally you're angry and fighting and, having this negative spiral about you or someone else or something in your life, you're actually creating hell in your mental space and projection and everything that's going on. So you get out of that as quickly as you can. The way that you get out of it is you become aware of it. You become lucid to it. Sarah, is it okay if I use I'm going to not make it direct, but it's kind of like what we were just talking about. Sarah was telling me something that she's going through right now, and then she stopped herself, which is a very sophisticated move. And she goes, actually, I don't want to speak negatively because it doesn't feel good when I do that. And she just stopped herself. And I said, good, I love that. I want all of you to do that because it's even in the Abraham Hicks world of it, our own nature, our own awareness, our own beingness is so pure and so full of love and so perfect. And it's not going to go with you into the hell realms. It's not going to follow you down the track where you're driving yourself crazy. It's not going to follow you. And that's why it feels so bad. I love that teaching. So they say it's your true nature. I was going to hold up my phone. We're not holding up my phone as my true nature. Okay, this gong mallet is your true nature. It is pure love, light, compassion, all of that stuff. This one over here is trying to drive you crazy. And it's hey, come over here and let's talk shit about this person and let's, feel bad about this situation and whatever. And your true nature is no, I'm not getting involved in that. So at first it starts out here and it doesn't feel too bad. It's just a little uncomfortable. Then it starts getting further and further and further away. Your mind is wandering, basically. The thoughts are wandering. You've now created the hell realm. You've committed to the hell realm. You are really calling people, talking about it, posting about it, whatever. And the further it gets away from your true nature, which is just pure love, compassion, bliss, all of it, awareness, it feels worse. So this is where your guidance system in everything is actually your emotions. If you're feeling a flare-up of emotion, good news. You then can recognize your awareness even easier because you're oh, I'm really far away from who I really am. I've really lost the plot. Sita's pole dancing on the subway. I got to get back home to my awareness. Does that check out? Yeah. Sarah goes, Okay, so again, just to recap, the two main distractions. We have the kind of surface level of our mission, which is still identity driven and somewhat, we're kind of, we have this sense of we want to do something and we can't do what we want to do in that day. We just lost control of the machine of our lives. And that the distractions are coming from all different angles. and we have to train our mind to stay on the beam. The deeper level of all of that, though, is the distraction from your own awareness. Every moment that you are unaware is samsara, is suffering. Every moment of it. So when we talk about like elevating out of samsara, elevating out of the cycle of suffering, elevating out of some sort of negativity, any of that, it's only through your awareness that that will be possible. And this is not this is no spiritual bypassing. If it were that easy, then we could call it bypassing, but it's not. It's not easy. Why is it not easy?
Hidden belief systems.
Say it louder.
Hidden belief systems.
Hidden belief systems.
Self-limitations.
Self-limitations.
Victimization.
Victimization.
Perception.
It's a perception issue. You know, most masters and enlightened beings, I have chills thinking about this, they say that enlightenment is just a perception change. That's it. You're in the same room, you're in the same life, you're in the same body. It's a perception shift. That's all enlightenment is. The habitual patterns, though, from birth and through your epigenetic line have conditioned you so deeply, though, to not be and be aware and be in that nature. So all meditation and these kinds of practices are doing is peeling away some of that and loosening some of that habitual tendency, those habitual patterns. And so when we move differently in Kundalini Yoga, we're creating new neural patterns. When we do anomalous action, we're creating new neural patterns. We're just softening all of that. And then any moment that you are recognizing that you are aware. So by the end of this class, you're going to have a moment. I know it. All of you will have this where you're just like, oh, this is so nice. And then there's kind of nothing to grab there, but there's just a sense of knowing, a sense of maybe bliss. Be with that. And then you practice being with that sense over and over and over. Make that your new pattern. Through doing that over and over, and then being around other people who are doing that helps too. Why? Because we have more muscle memory then of that pattern. It's nice to be around teachers for that reason, because teachers are practicing that all the time. They're trying to break those patterns, or maybe they've completely shattered them and they're just in that state. And so then when you're around them, it's easier to get into that state. It's easier to be like, oh, right, that's what we're doing. Totally forgot. Got a little distracted there by the pole dancing on the subway. Oopsie. And okay, so I feel good about this as like a stopping point. Oh, actually, let me just circle back. I have one more loop to close. I'm like, I speak in these kind of loops and then I get lost in my own hypnotic loop. Like, I'm like, there was one more thread here. Aligned action. So going back to aligned action really quick, this idea that we know what we want is hilarious, because we actually don't really know what we want, and we're like, this is my mission. My mission is like, my purpose is I'm supposed to create this book, or I'm supposed to, have this child, or whatever the thing is. You're like, this is my purpose and my mission. It's cute because on one level we're like, we're actually creating that from the algorithm. It's telling us that we want that. It's telling us, oh, if I do this, or we're even maybe reverse engineering ourselves into the algorithm, where we're like, okay, if I make this my mission, then I'm going to be successful, and that's what everyone else is doing. And then if I do it like this, then I'm going to leave a legacy behind. And so like, let me get on that, and then I'm going to just hire these people and then build this website. And blah, 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 blah. That's not aligned action. Liz is cracking up. Because it's true.
It's my life for 25 years.
It's been your life for 25 years. So aligned action on a deeper level, it has to come from that other place. It has to just come from the place of awareness. Now, what's so mind-blowing about this and what's so kind of cool about it is that from that place, the only type of action that happens in the Buddhist world, they call it enlightened activity. Enlightened activity or aligned action are pretty much kind of the same things in the worlds that I have traversed of the spiritual circus. I love this concept of the enlightened action and activity. Now, you can only do that if you are enlightened. But here's the good news. Any moment that you are aware, you're in that nature of your enlightenment. And what happens when you're in that state? Well, a bunch of amazing magical things, right? We run into people we meant to see or we wanted to see. We all of a sudden, start seeing angel numbers or signs, or like, you just feel like you're in that flow state all of a sudden. And it's very spontaneous. It's very easy. It's not forced. It's just kind of happening. And it's unfolding, and you're not really thinking about it. It's like a precognition. You're not actually contriving what's going to happen. It's just happening. If you can trust your own nature enough to allow for that to flow, what happens is you literally become a hand of the divine. So it's not even just that you are experiencing all of these magical things around you, like you're running into these people or you're, finding the right words or things or whatever, all the amazing synchronicities. It's that you yourself become the vehicle of the synchronicities for everyone else, for the helping of everyone else. You are in the right place to help that person. You are in the location that's going to help the most people. You are in the supermarket at exactly the moment that someone else needs you to be there. And it could be nonverbal, it could be verbal, it could be just someone seeing you on the street. You have no idea what you're doing for other people when you are walking around in your full beingness and your full awareness. I had this crazy moment the other day. I was down hiking by the river at sunset, and I came up. It was by Secret Slick Rock Trail. So I came up by like the local road there, and there was this couple there, and they were chatting with me. They were like an older couple. They had just retired. Super sweet. And the guy was very lit. Like, when you find a live one, that's what I call them. They're not missing much. Because there's a lot of zombies these days. Or maybe we just call them robots. A lot of people are just robots right now. You know exactly where they're going to be, what they're doing, how they're doing it. And they're not doing it from a place of like spontaneous beingness. They're doing it from a place of, here's what the algorithm is wanting, and here's what my work, and here's, where I might fit into it. So anyway, I had a live one in front of me. And he realized that I too was a live one. And so what happens when two of those types meet sometimes is there's a little bit of like a moment of like, oh God, you see it too, don't you? Because I'm just trying to be like, oh, nothing to see here, like just Sita and Sedona. And this guy, he's kind of towering over me, and he looks at me, he goes, wait, what's your name? And then he's looking at me, he goes, wait, what are you? And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm a woman. I'm like, what do you mean, what am I? Because what he was picking up on is I was just blissed out. It was the most magical sunset. There was the full eclipse rising on the horizon. The sky was bright red. And I couldn't tell you what day it was, what year it was, where the hell I was. I had a hard time even saying whatever my name was. He's like, what was your name? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Sita, and I live here. I think. And he caught it though, and he was like, wait, what? Who are you? So anyway, these types of things can happen, and it's not, it's actually our natural way of being. This is not something abnormal. It's actually entirely ordinary. And what's really great news about it is you don't have to try very hard. You actually just need to strip away some of the conditioning, strip away some of the patterning, notice the patterns so that you can reveal and see, be with the nature, be with the awareness. Practice resting in it. Familiarize yourself with it. And then all day long, just do that all day long. So what's cool about that is your life can become a meditation. It doesn't have to just be, I'm meditating, or like this, what we're going to do today. Look at me meditate, everyone. I'm meditating. Look how beautiful I am meditating. Can I have a gold star? I did my meditations. It's not like that. When I'm brushing my teeth, am I aware that I'm brushing my teeth? Or am I following the thought down the road? Or am I scrolling TikTok while I'm doing it? I actually don't have TikTok. I do recommend turning certain apps off, just if you know that they're problematic for you. That one clearly is for me. But even if you are scrolling, even if you find yourself distracted, that is a powerful moment. So I want to give you one more thing, and then we're going to get started on this Kriya and everything that's going to help us recognize this state within us. So, you guys know malas. Like, I actually don't, I might have left mine in my little house over there. Most of the time you're counting a mantra on it. So like, Om Mani Padme Hum, Waheguru, Satnam, you're just counting on the mala, 108 beats. There's a practice that some masters use that's really sophisticated and quite revolutionary. What they do is they hold the mala, and every time they get distracted, they move the bead. So that means they're sitting there meditating, like, I'm just going to be aware and rest. So like, now I have a thought coming in, like I forgot to call something today. I got distracted, boom. Now in that moment of moving the bead, I'm aware that I'm distracted, so therefore I'm no longer distracted. See the logic? So this is how you start to retrain the pattern. Slowly, slowly. So throughout the day, any moment that you go, oh, I was distracted. Good.